Hey folks, it's getting to be mid-March here. It's a lot warmer. We finally have a nice warm sunny day. I was thinking it's a good time to start some seeds. So I wanted to just go over the basics of seed starting with you. Just to begin, what we're going to do here is we get these cells. Usually it fits 72 to a tray. A tray is typically have something kind of like this. It's usually 11 inches by I think 22 inches. And then what I do to reinforce them and make them just a little bit stronger is I put one of these little baskets over it so you can pick up the tray and manipulate it and it doesn't crack, spill, whatever. So I put one of these either inside or outside. I think I'm going to put it on the outside for this one. But so you see these at the store all the time. Right now, if you were to go to the Home Depot, Lowe's, garden stores, you'll find these will oftentimes come as a seed starting kit. It'll come with the cells, the tray, sometimes even the media or the medium that you would use. This one is just a seed starting mix. It's basic. I just got it on sale. Just needed something. Tend to prefer the coconut, but this is a peat-based seed starting mix. But the thing is, you don't need much of it. That's the nice thing about that, because these cells are just so small. I was thinking we could go over a little bit how you do this. So I got the outside frame put on so it's nice and strong. I'm going to put these trays in here. Like so. Alright, so we're loaded up. Now let's just get our supplies. We've got the tray ready to be loaded. We've got some seed starting mix. I think this time we're going to use some gloves because well, peat moss can get a little powdery and a little bit messy. I don't feel like getting it under my nails. See, they're nice. Let's keep them that way, right? But we'll get started here in just a moment. Welcome back, folks. So I think I just show you a couple little tricks to loading these trays. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but there's a couple things you got to keep in mind. One, you don't want to fill them too much. You don't want to overfill them. You want to leave enough room that you can put the seeds in. Everybody's got a different technique. My personal preference is to load it in dry and just kind of evenly spread it. And then I actually put the seeds in, and then because there's this water reservoir, I'll lift up an edge and just pour the water along the bottom and let them soak it up rather than, so you don't want to pour water right on top of the seed trays once the seeds are planted because it kind of makes a mess. Peat moss has a tendency to float until it becomes saturated, so it kind of it'll sort of mess up the orientation. Some of them will overflow. It just, I don't really like the way it looks, and you just have to clean it up more later. The other thing is the seeds. I find it actually easier sometimes to plant my seeds in dry soil and then let them slowly absorb the water. It depends on the type of seed, but some seeds that are more fine, if you were to do like radish seeds or something, or certain herb seeds, it's difficult to spread and stir them into the soil if the soil's wet. They just kind of end up sticking to whatever you're using to stir the soil. So if it's your finger or a pen or whatever. So I'll show you a couple techniques that I use to help. But so first we're just going to load this up dry. It's a little bit of a windy day, so hopefully we don't lose too much. Now you'll see as I do this, here, I'll turn the camera down for you guys just a little bit so you can see better here. So you're going to see that as we do this, there are some bigger clumps. You'll have to break them up. Sometimes you'll even get little bits of twigs and sticks, but that's not too much of a problem. You can do that and help prevent that. You can fluff the bag a little bit. You can kind of bust up the clumps within the bag just by just a little bit of pressure and help aerate it a little bit. And there shouldn't be any more clumps. And so we just kind of take this little mound here and just gently, ever so gently spread it out. Sometimes you find a little twig. Ever so gently we just kind of spread the mixture out over the cells. If your cells don't fit in flush, you might want to push them together so the media doesn't fall between the cracks here. And do not, at this stage, do anything to pack them down. I see people sometimes put it in and then pack it down. You don't want to do that yet. If you do press it down just lightly, you want to wait till the end. Because right now, if we pack it and then put more media on top, we'll overfill the cells. So we like that they're overflowing but light right now. Later on, once we're done filling all of them, then we can pack them in. But if we were to pack them now, because I'm going to put more soil on top to spread around, it would end up with the cells being overfilled. Because remember, they still have to fit the seeds. So this isn't too bad here. So we just slide it around a little bit. Hopefully don't make too much of a mess here, but 72 cells should be filled. Should only use maybe half of one of these bags. I recommend if you do a lot of seeds, like I do, this was a gift that I was given for Christmas, this bag, but I typically will buy in bulk. I'll get like a 1 or 2 cubic foot bag rather than these, let's say that's 8 quart bags. I'll get the multi-cubic foot bags of this starting mix. What's in it, you see the little white flecks, people wonder what that is. Those are perlite, little bits of perlite. It's about 15% perlite, and the remainder is pretty much peat. I don't think they even put lime in this, so it's probably pretty acidic. It's just for the starting phase. Now, I do notice sometimes there's little bits of twigs. Peat bogs, of course, are their own sort of ecosystem. It's not ideal to use peat, so I try not to use it all the time, but for something like this, we're not using a whole lot. And we're actually reasonably close to some peat sources. We're not that far from the Canadian peat sources, whereas we are a good ways from coconuts here. So my cells are just about even. I need just a tiny bit more soil, or I should say media. This isn't exactly soil, it's soil less. There's no rocks, there shouldn't be any rocks in here. Not a lot of minerals. It's just kind of a blank slate for planting. So you just spread it out evenly. Pretty good. I'm just going to take the little excess and push it all to one corner here. Anything that's left over. There, done. I'm just going to go through and ever so gently, gentle, like you're poking a marshmallow or something. Ever so gently, just press down lightly, just so it frees up a little space, because they are overfilled right now in this condition. Just so gently with 2 fingers, goes quickly, and then you can sort of shake it to fill in the little finger holes. No, it's pretty good. So it's probably ready to plant now. We'll get some seeds.